Hi, I hope you can hear me alright over the noise of this. There's a screen down there, so I hope you can hear me. Today's video is a little bit about what have I got in my camera bag. I'm not going to go over the actual camera stuff because that varies depending on what sort of thing I'm doing. But I'm talking about now the bits and pieces that make life easier if you've got them in your kit. Now the first thing we've got in the side pocket over here, this is half an El Cheapo ground sheet. This stuff, if you want to sit on the cold floor or kneel down on dirty or muddy ground, such a useful bit of kit, costs next to nothing. That just lives in there. And here in the front pocket then, we have triangular bandage, brown cotton triangular bandage. Not really used as a triangular bandage, but it's really handy. You can mop your sweat with it, or you can, make a bandana out of it. You can use it for all sorts of things. Very handy bit of kit. Next up, in a plastic bag, there's a head over and a pair of lightweight green gloves, just in case it gets a bit chilly or a bit cold. There's also a pair of vinyl gloves in the bottom. Next thing out then, this is a cheapy first aid kit. It's just a little dressing in the top, and it's just plasters, antiseptic wipes, band-aids, that sort of stuff. Just the basics in case you get a cut finger or a little scratch. That's used all the time for things, that is. Next thing out, these were freebies with the camera magazine. One, that's a white balance card, and the other one is a reflector. Now these are these little pop-up things. As you can see, they're not very big. I don't know if you can see any difference on that, but they're okay for something like a flower or something like that. They're not really any good for a portrait. I do have bigger ones, but I don't carry them around with me all the time because I don't really use them all that often. What have we got next up? Next up, this is one of these camping towels. I don't know if you can see that. These are very, very useful. You can actually dry your whole body off with this. If you've got really wet or it's pouring down with rain. Or mostly used for drying the rain off the camera if the camera gets wet. It's in a plastic bag, like most of the things. A is to keep it dry, but B, if it is wet, when you put it back in, it doesn't make everything else in the bag wet because there's batteries and things in there as well. Next up is what they call a COB head torch, which means chip on board. It's just a cheapy head torch. It gives a wide spread of light, and it's very handy for finding your way around at night, or for, I don't know if that's making any difference with the camera there because it's quite bright out at the moment, but it's quite useful for lighting things up. I actually use it mostly as a video light for the GoPro. Again, dirt cheap off eBay that was. What else have we got in there? We've got them. Here we go. Another head torch. This is a proper one. Now this one has, I don't know if you can see that, a red LED and a white LED. The reason it has the red LED is if I'm working at night, and this is the one I tend to use mostly if I'm working on the camera or taking night photographs or something. The red LED doesn't affect your night vision as much as the white does. So you don't just blind yourself and then you can't see anything for 5 minutes. The red actually makes it quite easy to say, change the settings on the camera or adjust the tripod or something in the dark. Again, not expensive, but very, very handy. That also throws the light a lot further than the other one. There's a few GoPro bits and pieces in here. There's another little first aid kit which has got a bigger dressing, a couple of plasters and some painkillers in there. In there. This good old-fashioned space blanket, emergency blanket. If you get caught out and you've got to spend a night out, with that and the ground sheet, I can make myself reasonably comfortable. This is a filter kit for my flash gun. It's colour filters for my flash gun. So if I want to use the flash with, say, a red filter or a green filter or something, that fits on. Now normally there is actually a filter kit for the camera lens which has neutral density type filters in it. That's not in there because I simply don't use it often enough to make it worthwhile carrying it, to be honest with you. Next out of the bag, some more tablet. Next out of the bag we have, this is a camera sleeve, a camera kit essentially. You stick your camera with a long lens on your neck, tighten it up around the lens, poke your hand in the back, and you can use it. And I've actually used this in the pouring rain, and it does work. It keeps your camera really surprisingly dry and clean. I was at a really muddy event and it kept it surprisingly clean, and it was pouring down a horrible day. Very useful bit of kit. Dirt cheap to buy on places like eBay and stuff like that. They had a couple of, I think this was like a couple of quid for two or something like that. Next up, yep, it's one of those horrible ponchos that you get at festivals and things, and makes you look a complete pillar. But, you know, beats getting soaked to the skin if you get caught out somewhere. The bag itself has got a rain kit built into it, and it keeps it I've been caught out in a thunderstorm with this, and the rain kit keeps it really dry. This will hopefully keep me really dry if I do look a bit of a wally in it, but hey, it beats getting soaking wet, doesn't it? There's the usual selection of spare batteries and things. I tend to buy Poundland batteries. These are my favourite ones. These actually last me as long as Duracell batteries, quite seriously. These are the only ones I use. I bought these because I couldn't get any more of these, but these are the ones I actually use all the time for pretty much everything. These are AAA batteries which fit the torches. There's also AA batteries in here. There we are, there's the AA, which go in my flash guns and other bits and pieces. There's plenty of spare camera batteries. Packet of tissues. And apart from things like memory cards, but the only other thing we've got then, this is actually, I won't bother to take it all out now, but this is a set of jeweler's screwdrivers, just screwed up in a bit of plastic with a rubber band around it. These are handy for tightening up screws in the lights or the camera, or any little bits and pieces where the screws kind of work loose on them. I normally carry a multi-tool in my pocket, a little small multi-tool anyway, so between that and my bits and pieces, I can sort of do most of the running repairs. In this side then, this pocket, we have wet wipes, a baseball cap, some more tissues. These are just scrounges from a hotel or a restaurant somewhere. These are, the bag is slipping off. These are sort of armbandy things which look really silly on, but I clip them onto the back of my pack and they work as a reflective light. They also, if I can find the thing, well, you can't see it in this light, they also light up, which means that if I'm walking down a dark road somewhere, I've got a little bit of reflection on the back of my kit to make me show up a little bit better. And the only other thing that's in the side pocket then is this, which is what the GoPro, which I'm filming on now, is usually on when I'm actually out and about walking with it, because I find holding the camera itself really fiddly and it tends to make a lot of noise, so this means that I can just walk around with it, and I can also hook it up over things if I need to, or you know, hold it out over something. Very handy bit of kit, very cheap. And that's the only other thing is this. I won't bother to take it off. This pouch on here. This is actually a viewfinder. I will take it out. It's a viewfinder magnifier which fits on the back of my DSLR cameras, which are in the kit. And this means that for when I'm doing video with them, it makes it easier to watch the screen. It just clips onto the back, kind of magnetically onto the back of the camera. As for the cameras itself, I'm not going to pull all the cameras out because, as I say, the cameras and lenses vary. At the moment, I'm using Canon cameras. I have used Nikon, digital and Canon, and I've also used, well, pretty much every other make. I've used, you know, Pentax, Olympus, Yashica, Fuji, Minolta, and for the large format cameras, Rolleiflexes and Yashica Max. Even up to 5x4 film for sheet film cameras. So I don't have any. I've got all my own film cameras. I don't have any 5x4 cameras. I've got my 2 1/4 square and stuff, but I don't have any 5x4. Sadly, I don't really use it these days, and frankly, it's not worth sod all to sell either. So, well, that's basically all the little bits and pieces that live in my bag. This makes my life a bit easier when I'm out and about for the day. And this doesn't actually weigh very much, believe it or not. Other than that, I just got things like memory cards in little pouches and stuff like that, and more spare batteries, and of course the infamous camera batteries. So there you go, that's what's in my bag. Thanks for watching. Oh, my bag's all dirty.